Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and this is the last of my Christmas club cards of the year. I'm all decked out for the holidays. You can see I've got blue and a little sparkle. So I like blue and sparkle for winter for sure. And I have a thumb. I don't know if I had a thumb last time, but I got my thumb back. Anyway, I wanted to just show you how to go about doing this card. And I'm going to show you another kind of bonus card in this one. I talked a little bit about it in another video, and I may have shown you a little bit. But I will definitely talk a little bit more about it today. But what we are using today is Balmy Blue cardstock for your base, and then white. And then this paper right here is from this pack. This pack is called, let's see, A Walk in the Forest, which actually makes sense, right? Because it's a lot of woodsy stuff. Even some cute bears. But a lot of this paper is just really great holiday paper. And this, seriously, you could use any time of the year, which is kind of nice. I like when they do that. They usually make one side kind of holiday-like, and then the other side is a little more neutral that you could use maybe later in the year for a different card. But anyway, I am using the blue colors, and I am using the dotted one, although this one right here is a great paper and we use it in another card. So I don't think I have any more of that dotted paper left, except for what I saved for this card, which is this piece here. Now, we are using vellum too. So you can see we have a vellum layer, and in person it's very pretty. It gives it a little extra something. There are some tricks with vellum that we're going to talk about today. And then the stamp set that we're using, if you're following along at home, is Christmas Classics. Sorry, I'm still very clumsy with my hand. I'll get used to it. Christmas Classics. We are using the Peace on Earth. I just think with this snow, this is a great card. If you aren't sure what religion someone is, even if it is someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or anything like that, even just the end of the year, we could all use a little peace, and this works for everybody because it is winter. So it's not, a lot of people think maybe, oh, I'll send a Christmas tree because my friend is Jewish, and it's just a tree, it's just a wreath, it's still Christmassy. This, you could go anybody. So if you don't know, this is safe. All right, anyway, this is a great set. We've used it quite a bit. Actually, I think we've used most of it. So that's always a sign of a stamp set that ends up being a great purchase, when you use a lot of the different sentiments, and we even use some of the dies that go with it. It does come as a bundle. You can only get it as a bundle through, I think, like January 5th. You should go ahead and get it as the bundle because you save money that way, and I don't know if it's carrying over yet. Okay, so let's get started. We are using, as I said, a Balmy Blue base. The reason that I know that it should be Balmy Blue when I'm picking cards, obviously this one's kind of obvious, right? But it says it right on the back of the paper that I showed you, that woods paper. It says right on the back, oh, still not coordinated. It says right on the back what colors you should use for your card that coordinate with that so that you really match it up. All right, then we are going to put a white base on here. Our white base is smaller than a normal panel, and this whole class, actually, the last 3 cards that were part of this class, I actually did do a smaller panel, and I did a lot this year, actually. This is 3 3/4 by 5. I did that because I like having this wider base around here. So normally it's a little closer, but I really like having a little more color around the outside of the card. Normally, I would tell you, do not glue stuff together until after you've already stamped, just in case you make a mistake. I don't know if you watched my video about the fractured card, the shutter card, but I stamped and then we had to peel off a piece and flip it over. It showed you how to fix a mistake, so that's great. But in this case, I'm only stamping on this little piece, so I can go ahead and assemble the rest of the card. And that's going to work for me. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is that was Balmy Blue. This is I always have glue on the ready. Have glue will travel. All right. You don't need a lot of glue, by the way. Look at how little I really used, and it's going to hold just fine. This is just basic white, so it's easy peasy. I will have everything listed below with links in case you need to order it quickly and get going on your holiday cards if you haven't started. Yikes. Oh, I'm going to keep going here. Now, the next layer would be this. So you always start from the bottom up. So the next layer is this. Isn't that pretty? That's super pretty background also, I think. I may be partial. That's very possible. Okay, so added a little bit of glue on that. And I'm just going to go, oh, you see my hand just making a mess here. I'm going to go a little over to the side like that and kind of centered on the card. No big deal. The next piece, the next two pieces, so there are only two more layers. No dimensionals. That was another thing that I did in this last class, was every card did not use any dimensionals whatsoever. And it's a great, I'm always trying to teach something different in each class. So sometimes it's a technique, but I try to kind of run through the cards with it so that people really get it. This one was how to make a card without adding too many dimensionals. It's great to have layers and dimensionals, but you don't need them. So, okay, this is vellum. Vellum is a paper that you can see through like this. It's kind of like, it almost looks like a waxed paper, but it's firmer, right? It's firm. You can punch out of it and stuff like that. In general, I don't use vellum just straight up like this. It's pretty. I did it here. I usually like to emboss vellum. So what I did, just to show you the difference, I took this embossing folder, this, what is it, Snowflake Sky embossing folder. I took this and I embossed a piece of vellum so you can see what that does. And it just makes it so cool, right? It reminds me of the tights that you wear when you're a little girl, like when you're going to church or when you're being fancy. So I love to emboss vellum. I just think it adds so much. But when I tried to put this with embossed vellum, it was just too much. It was just too busy. So I didn't do it on this one. Okay, but embossing vellum is the same as anything else. You stick this in there, you run it through your embossing machine in your folder, and it just gives a ton of texture. And because it's kind of a plasticky paper, when it pushes through it, it actually makes it less opaque. More opaque. So it's a little translucent-y here, but it gets more opaque when it's pushed and it turns a little white. So it gives a lot of texture. And if you had a solid card, that would be really pretty. Okay, get an idea here. So if this wasn't patterned, if I just put a solid piece of blue there, I definitely could have used embossed vellum. But since it was patterned, this is what we're going to do. All right, this piece is, I think, a square. Yeah, it's a 3-inch square, not a big deal. The thing is, is it 3 inches? Is that what yeah, okay. The thing is, vellum is picky about glue, okay, because it is going to actually show through where you put the glue. It'll dry and it'll be less, but it will show. So again, not going through a wind tunnel. So I'm just going to put glue kind of in the middle of it like that, because I know that this piece is going to cover that once I put it down. So I'm going to put it down. The glue is going to kind of disappear into, I'm going to rub it around a little and then just scooch it to where I want it, straighten it out. The only place that it's glued is right here. And I know it's very hard to see. I'm sorry. You're going to have to trust me. It's like a little O right here. This all is loose, and that's okay. It's okay to be loose. It makes it look lighter. And that's one way that you can get away with not adding dimensionals, is just not gluing all the edges of everything down. All right, now we get to stamp. So it's always my favorite part. Not, especially with my hand like this. It's just so crazy to stamp. All right, I am going to use a mat. And in case you're new to me, the reason that I'm using a mat is these stamps are actually photopolymer. Photopolymer means like clear plastic. So this clear rubber stamp is photopolymer, and that means it has no give, no sponge between the stamp layer and my block. So I need to add some sponge so that it has some give. If you don't do that, sometimes you end up getting a bad image, and I did that in the last video. So if you haven't watched a video for a while, watch my last couple, because I show how to fix a mistake and different things like that. But anyway, with photopolymer, we're going to use a mat. This is a great mat. You can pierce. It's a stamp pierce mat. It's in the catalog. I will list it below. If you don't have one, it's nice because it's the right firm. It's the right density of foam. But if you don't have one, you could use a mouse pad. Just be careful you don't push too hard, because those are mushier and they'll go a little deep. And if they go a little too deep, you'll get a shadow of your stamp. Okay, so this piece is, it is 2 by 2.5. So it's not square. So make sure that you have it vertical when you go to stamp. Okay, first of all, this is kind of vertical, but also we need room for our little gems. So I'm going to go a little north of center, so a little higher than, can't see the edge of that because of my own hair. Let's just trust that that's going to be about right. It's a little to the side. All right, we're going to try again. I don't want to get my head in the picture, and my hand is crazy. So between the two things, we got a lot going on. All right, we're going to go here and a little there. Let's just try that. We'll pick the side we like the best. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so two-sided paper is the bomb. So I do not, again, need to put this on dimensionals. I am just going to put glue on it and put it down. This, I can have glue all the way around. It's going to help hold your vellum kind of in place from being too curled. I'm going to just stick that down like this. Now, the thing about vellum is because it's kind of plasticky, it does take a little longer for the glue to adhere and dry than a dry piece of paper. So be sure that you give it a little forgiveness there, and it might slide a little bit longer, so just give it a little time to dry. Okay, so got that on there. Can move that out of our way. And now I'm going to add my gems. The gems that I used are these festive pearls. They have 4 different colors in them. They have the red, they have gold, shiny silver, and then this color here is, it's not white. It's not like a normal white or cream colored pearl. You can see, not really cream colored. It almost has a little tiny bit of a blue tint, and I thought that is perfect for this card. So I'm using those, and I'm going to use my scissors to help me place them because I'm not too coordinated right now. So when you're putting 3 in a row, you are going to want to do this. Do 1 and then 3. Stuck it right to my own finger. Do 1 and then 3. And then, okay, we're going with a different one. Sorry, guys. 1 and then 3. How many times I have to say that now? And then go back and get your other one and make that 2. That gives you a way to center them. Otherwise, you end up crowding them to one side. Okay, so then push down. I would add a panel inside, and that would be it for this card. So the one other thing that I wanted to show you using that same paper is this card here. This is a great format if you have to get a lot of cards out quickly. This one there, I have a video that has tips on how to cut 12 of these really quickly with kind of limited supplies. And it opens a little differently, which is kind of cool for a Christmas card. It stands up like this. It is only 1 card thickness here. It's going to be great to drop in the mail. It's not going to get too heavy. If you don't have a ton to write, this is your card. And then I did just use white paper here and emboss. This is one of the blue papers in that same pack that I showed you. And then this flippity flop panel is just basic white. And then this is still not bashful blue, I'm sorry, balmy blue. So, and this is the same stamp set. So really you could get away with making lots, same pearls and everything. I'm going to attach the the video that I made that shows the cutting instructions, how to cut this piece. It won't look like this. It's going to be a Halloween version card. It's something that I made a while ago, but just that, actually that's great because it'll give you an option to see some other, see a different way to use it, right? To use the same thing, but you know, just replace the things with that same DSP that we used. This is just plain white that I embossed with that same embossing folder that I showed you before, that Starry Sky, same stamp set. So anyway, I think this is a great card, and you cut 12 very quickly and easily, and I think that will be very helpful. So I will attach that link below. So it's another video. Be sure that you double check because even though it's in Halloween, the video, that's going to save you some time. If you're only starting your Christmas cards now, like me, that's going to be awesome for you to be able to get a bunch of stuff done. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope you learned something. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. But if you do, please go ahead and support them. This is a great time to show your demonstrator some love. Have a great day. Have a good Christmas if I don't talk to you before then, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.